Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode number 26 here in the Systematic Factory. I really want to get started on building our space exploration stuff and doing our research rocket, but we don't have steel. I used all of it to make these steel bunker doors, and I just don't have enough. And so I am working on getting that fixed. So what I did is I have set where is it? Here it is. I have set this to transport some iron ore back over because we have a surplus on this planetoid, and we can get that going. I'm also going to work on switching this iron volcano, well, not switching, just building out this iron volcano so that we can get another source for iron to turn into steel. Because what the problem is here, the only iron source we have is this volcano, and this volcano still has another 45 cycles before it goes active again. So the iron ore coming across will help. We'll get some iron ore, get turned into iron, make some steel that way. If we can get the iron on Hazardato set up as well, then we'll have even more iron coming through, which will help us get more. And in the meantime, what I'm working on is just doing some more building out of things. So I built out the ceiling here that goes the whole way across and filled in these tiles. I'm actually extending this up to go all the way up to here. Main reason is that this extends so high up. I don't really want to put any rockets there. It'll trap in steam, and we don't want to deal with that. So we're just going to start the rockets over here, and this will give us a little more space to build some things here that we want to get. So I'm going to have them finish closing this off, and then we're going to really open this up to let the atmosphere in here work its way all the way to the top, and then we'll work on putting a system for getting out there for our duplicates up here so that they can do it. For now, we're just going to seal it off. I actually took off one of these bunker doors because I wanted to put in bunker tiles, and I realized I don't have any steel to even do that. The steel that I used got used up right away. I think part of it is that we are running this system down here, and each time we build another one of the biobots, we use up some steel. So I'm going to cut this off, and the way I'm going to do it is just by cutting off this pump. So the pump is what pumps in our zombie spores, and so without the zombie spores, this system will shut down because it won't have enough spores to keep running. So we're going to turn that off, that way we're not using up steel for that. And once we get a better steel production going back again, and we have more, we can turn it back on. But we don't really need that. Another thing I did is I had some problems where fluids would collect down here because they just spill down. So I just put in a pump here. It's just a mini pump. So if any fluids get pumped in here or get spilled in here, they get pumped out and pumped over to this vent and dumped back into our system. So that way we can keep this clear and the gases can keep getting handled here. Of course, we still have that blocked because of the gas coming in from here. We actually had this close to being done. It was like completely vacuumed out, and then we had, let's see, where is it? Right here, we had a shovel that got loose and put a block here. And so we had people going in and out without suits, so people were breathing carbon dioxide down in there. So we have to clean that out again. Another thing I made in between from the last episode and this one is I put in a place for the shovels that we were getting from up at the top of the map. So this works with, this should be priority 7, and this one should be priority 6. That's right. So I may need to do some more work on this one. I don't know that I want to get too many here, but the idea is that I can put shovels over here, they'll get fed, and we'll get more of them, and then extra ones get placed into this room. Right now we have 19. I guess 19 is plenty. So if we have 19 shovels, let me do some math on this, because I'm just curious how it's going to work. Where is their reproduction? That one's a baby. I need an adult one. So the reproduction is at 2%, so they have an egg every 50 cycles, and they live to be 100. So I think that means that we'll just get one egg from each of them, so they'll just maintain their population. So if we have 20 of them, each one of them, when they expire, they turn into 16,000 calories of barbecue. And then it takes 100 cycles for each of them. So that means that we're getting, let's see, 16,000 times 20 divided by 100. We get 3,200 calories per cycle from these shovels. I don't know if that's right. I think it is. That's pretty solid just from having 20 shovels sitting here, not getting fed, doing nothing. We'll have to keep an eye on it, make sure that they can actually maintain themselves. But we could also, if we wanted to, increase the population by moving shovels over here. They'll get fed, they'll have more eggs, and then the eggs get dropped here. We could increase the population in here. So we may actually do that just in the end to have extra barbecue, because then we can get rid of our hatches, because the hatches take a lot of food. They're eating a lot of stone up. These will provide us meat with nothing, no input whatsoever. But we're going to keep an eye on that and see how it all works out. And we're going to let this get finished. Over on Hazardato, I'm still working on clearing the map out. You can see we've gotten down here. I'm about ready to get ready, starting to get ready to move our duplicates over here. So all we need to do is put in a mess hall in each of these rooms, and then these rooms will be all set up for us to start putting beds in. So I have 6 of them a while. So right now I think that what we can do, let's start just by doing it that way. We'll pull off 4, and then that way one of the people will move to one of these beds up here. And then once we get them populated, we can actually start activating these rooms. But right now these bathrooms don't work, so they still have to come over here and use these. I need to set up plumbing for that so that we can have water coming up to our sink, our lavatory, and our showers. And we need to get oxygen running over so that we can have the atmosuit docks up and running. But the idea is we will have these rooms stocked with atmosuits, and the water, and then have food stocked in each room. And that way we can have duplicates that come out of these rooms wearing exosuits, and we can start doing more stuff in this area. The base is actually looking pretty nice. The heat has started to dissipate that we brought in from the polluted water, and it's getting the temperatures to be kind of normal the whole way across. They're still a little cold, but the more we clear out and stuff, the more it will equalize. So I'm just going to continue on with that project, and I think I want to put in a spot where we're going to have water stored that isn't just an open tank. We also need to put in water production from this cool salt slush geyser. And all we're going to do is set up a basic pump. It's going to go through a desalinator, and it's going to pump the water in. So a lot of projects to work on over here while we wait on our steel production to get back up to its normal levels. But I think the priority is going to be building a tamer on this iron volcano, just to increase the amount of iron we add into the system. As you can see, we have finally gotten our steel production back going over here on our main colony. We're up to 10 tons of steel. So we're doing pretty good on that front. We have also finished a few other projects around here. We have finished sealing all of this in, and so I dug out all of this area to let the gases collect to the top. We have hydrogen building up here that we're going to need to deal with. I am converting these steel bunker doors here over to tiles, because I'm not going to need these to open, because we're not going to have rockets here. We're going to start the rockets over on this side. So that is done for now. So I just opened everything up, and it's all open. Things are still running really good everywhere here. We have power running good, and checking out our shovels. I just moved one over here just to see how it goes with the population going. Not quite sure. We're at 13 out of 20. I don't think these guys are lasting long enough to give me eggs, maybe. I'm not sure. I have to keep an eye on them, figure out what's going on with them. I might have to do a little more work with them. It says mood satisfied, but they're wild. They're not tame. They're not getting tamed. Means I don't think I'm getting an egg from them. So we may need to continue feeding them. I'll mess around with it. Maybe do some research. See the best way to set them up so that they just produce food for me forever. We'll get there. Back on our other colony, we have gotten a good progress going here in our pod living section. So if we look at the room overlay, all of these are luxury barracks. This one isn't because I haven't put in this decor item yet. So I can do that now. This last one is the last room I've been adding in. We'll have to actually get an artist in here to decorate it then. And probably do some more decor throughout here. Right now we just have mess halls, again, because we don't have the decorations and things that are required for a great hall. And then we have washrooms. So that gives us +2, +5, +7 morale for each of our duplicants that live in these things. We have set it up so that each of them has a bed, and then they're assigned to the mess table in the pod. So I've removed all of that. We still have the bathrooms set up because I haven't done any plumbing for the bathrooms or the washrooms to get them running yet. Right now they're just there in a placehold. They can't use them yet. I'm getting the oxygen line run now so we can start getting oxygen into our atmosuit ducts. And then we're gonna have to work on power. We also need to set up sustainability for the atmosuits so that they can get them repaired. I'm concerned that this is not going to be enough to produce oxygen for this, but I have our water source here. This cool salt slush geyser. I don't have the exact numbers on it because I haven't analyzed it yet, but this is going to produce water for us. And so I can set up a system to produce oxygen from it. Over here, our water needs aren't going to be super great. So we can set up some sustainability on our washrooms so that we have water back from that. And then of course we have the polluted water that comes from our power plant, which we're not getting a lot of right now. Very, very, very little, in fact. But that's because we're not really running it. So we don't have a lot of power needs. As we ramp things up and we need more power, that will change. This here is a bit of a mess, it looks, because I don't have the materials that I need to build this, because I copied it from the other colony. I'll need to send some resources over to do it, but I didn't want to send steel over quite yet because I'm still working on building up my supply here. I don't really have a sustainable steel source yet because this is still not active. We are just running off the iron ore that we sent over from the other colony. We did send a good chunk, so we have plenty of steel for the moment. Hazarato still has 25 more tons I could send over, but I didn't want to use it all up. I'm hoping to get this up and running and then also be able to send iron over. But what I can send for now, just to get that working again, is I can set this to send us some lead. So that's under refined metal. So if I do this and select lead, we can at least get the power laid out and get that built. And we'll send the steel once I have a little more of it. I think that that is all that I'm missing as far as insufficient resources go. Mostly the steel for that. I still need to finish doing a few more changes to things that were here because it just does weird things when you copy it over. Like this was a ladder, so it didn't want to build it. Same with these tiles. I also need gold. So let's send some gold over. Do I have enough gold over here to do that? Yeah, I still have 37 tons of gold. So let's send some gold as well. I have this set at priority 8 and allow manual use. So as soon as I set it for something, anybody who's free will bring me items to send. I just have to make sure I keep a watch and not send too much because I can run resources out on this side. So that's where we're at currently. I'm going to take a break from recording it just because it's so late. And hopefully in the morning, I can finish this episode up just to get an episode up and going. I'd like to get started on doing our rocket systems, because now we have enough steel to at least get started. So the first rocket we're going to build is going to use... We're going to set up a rocket platform. In fact, I can do this now. I want to leave enough space that I can build a vacuum or an airlock there. So let me think about, as far as spacing goes, these are 2, 4, 6, 7 across. And then I want to be able to put ladders next to them. So a liquid lock, if I put it right there, let's look at the one I have down here. It is also 7 blocks across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's 9 if you count the outer edges of it. So if I put one here, then I would need 7 blocks. That's 3. That's 7. So this is where it would go. Let's put a ladder there to mark it. And let's put in the tile. So this is granite. Granite's fine. So just so I can kind of mark things off in my head and make sure I have enough space, let's build the outer edges of this. Now it won't actually build because nobody can get to this stuff, which is, I kind of left it that way on purpose because I want to design it before I'm all finished with it being done. So if I put a ladder here, let's go all the way to the top. Our tallest rockets are 35 blocks tall. So that's 39. So I'd have 4 more blocks clear above that. So let's put a ladder here. This will mark out and frame where the rockets are going to be. And then I need 7 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I can put the next ladder. So now, just to make this easier on me, I'm going to do copy and copy these. And then I can measure out using this. And I'm going to do a bunch of rockets. So we'll go with like that far. That should be plenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rockets for now. For now, I just want to build 1, but I want to kind of future plan everything. So let's put down some mesh tile. I want to raise the rockets up 1 so that there's somewhere for the steam to dissipate into. I don't want them made out of copper though. This is something that should be made out of steel because it's going to be very hot in that area. And so my thought is, and I'm not sure if this will work, it's just something to test, is if I put the rocket platform up above it and then I have that mesh tile there, there'll be space for the exhaust to go out and not hit this insulated tile, because the last time I did it, it heated it up to the point where we melted that insulated tile and then it caused us problems. So I'm going to go with that. And then the rocket we're going to build here, I won't be able to do it yet until we actually build this rocket platform. The first one is going to be a steam-powered rocket. So if I go into research, maybe we can see it. Let's see, where's rocketry? I don't know if rocketry has its own thing or if it's mixed in. Here's where we have the different things for it. So as far as what we have researched for rocketry, I have not gotten into the Radbolt engines yet because I need space research to do that. I think I do have petroleum rockets researched. That's what I'm trying to find. Let's look for that in here. So petroleum rockets. Oh, that's a hydrogen engine. Here's our petroleum engine. So petroleum engine, we're not quite there yet. I still need about 154 data analysis to get it. So we can do a small petroleum engine, which means we can skip over doing the steam engine. We can do a small petroleum engine, build that up, and then we'll build our research lab inside that. I think that's going to be our plan to go. So once we get this rocket platform built, I'll build out a rocket. We'll build out a rocket room, and we'll get somebody going for research. And then we have this much space above our rockets to set up some kind of automation system for our, to open up these bunker doors and to clear out anything that built up above because of the meteors, because we're going to have to deal with that. And that's something new for me, because in the last map, I really only launched rockets from the main planetoid, and in that update, when I had made that map, you did not get meteors on the first planetoid. So that's where we're at. That's what we're going to have to work on. I'm going to finish this episode in the morning. Hopefully we'll get the rockets going before I finish recording it, and we'll go from there. All right, everybody, we are back and building our rockets. I'm trying out some new things that I haven't done before, and so I'm not quite sure how they're going to work. I put that in the wrong spot. Just quick. Yeah, there we go. So these rocket port loaders, so this is for solids, this is for gases, and then this was for liquids. I believe that if they connect to the rocket platform, then I can pump things into them directly and have them go into the tanks on the system. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to put a pipe down here that I want to be insulated. I need petroleum for our rocket. And we have petroleum up here. So I'm trying to think of the best direction to run our piping for this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pipe that goes up like this. I may go through the wall. And then across like this. We can get to all of that. And I need to get up to here. So I'm going to continue this ladder straight up and go that way. Just to make the pipe as direct as possible. We'll come all the way up to here. And then we'll do our piping from here and go straight up to the top and across. And so if I'm understanding how these things work correctly, what I'm going to do is I'll end up splitting this pipe off here so that this goes down. And half of these tanks will then be connected to go out to our power supply, and the other half here will go up, and we'll have a continuous supply of petroleum for our rockets. That's sort of the goal here. Let's do it like that, and we'll get rid of this. So then we can have that going up. We got our rocket platform built here. We can start building our rocket. We're going to build a small petroleum rocket, and then we're going to start building a research thing inside of it. I did do one airlock up here, so there's a vacuum in between to let it go out. But now this is keeping our air in here, so that works. I'm going to build another one down here at the bottom part to do the same thing, so we can have an opening down here just to make it a little easier. Basically, the idea is I want to have duplicates be able to come down here to access the bottom of the rocket and get up along the scaffolding to where it needs to go. And I want to be able to get up here to do maintenance on the ceiling really quickly. So that's why we're doing two. So we're going to enable this. We're going to copy the settings across all four of these. And then I'll just keep an eye on those and let them fill it up. Guess we need to have power for those two, but we're going to need power for this whole system shortly, so we'll get to that. Okay, so now that we have our rocket, we can establish a new rocket. We want to do the small petroleum engine. We want to build it out of steel, and we're going to build that. So that's going to be our first thing. I know we're going to want to have a Spacefarer module. So let's add that. And for now, we'll just do a basic nose cone. Make it out of ceramic, just because we have it. And then we'll have to add more things to this, I am sure. But this will get us at least the first part of our rocket put in place so that we can start designing the inside of our Spacefarer module for research and get things fueled up. I know one thing for sure that we're going to need is the fuel tank, so let's look at that. Large liquid fuel tank. Out of steel. Let's build that. That should put everything up in place. So that'll at least give us fuel for what we need. We're probably going to need to do some kind of oxidizer, and we don't have anything. Actually, I don't know if petroleum needs an oxidizer or not. It's been a while since I've used the petroleum rocket, so let's get it built, and then we'll take a look at it and see what goes on there. Gotten really close to finishing my design for my research rocket. First, let me show you the rocket, because I don't think I've shown you that yet. It's real simple. Petroleum engine, small oxidizer tank full of fertilizer, Spacefarer module, a large gas cargo canister full of oxygen, though I don't even know if I need this, to be honest. And I'll show you why when we get inside, and then power. So inside, it's not quite there. There's a couple of problems, but I have a food dehydrator, and I'm going to put in storage for food dehydrator packs for the number of days that we're going to be gone. We have an interesting setup. So we have 3 different rooms. We have our washroom. This one, needs to be, so to make it a barracks, I think I need to put a door back in. I think that's what's causing the problem. I think that this is counting as industrial machinery. I'm going for the luxury barracks. So one or more comfy beds, no industrial machinery. So I think that this counts as industrial machinery. So if I put a door like that, it'll be fine. But anyway, the interesting part here is that there is infinite water storage here. The way the gases work from this electrolyzer, hydrogen gets pumped this way, oxygen gets pumped this way, and so the oxygen comes out. I have a sensor here. Only when the oxygen in here falls below 1,500 grams does the electrolyzer kick on. So when it does, because of the way this water is set up, it'll just keep pumping hydrogen into this pocket that's stored, and it will keep pumping oxygen out. And then once it's at the right temperature or right pressure, it'll stop. This is just set up here. There's a pump down here on the bottom level. It pumps up gas. If that gas is oxygen, then it gets sent back up here and pumped back out into the room. If it's anything else, it gets pumped down here and exhausted out of the ship. There's a little radiant pipe there just to pick up some temperature on its way out. Everything works great, except, and I thought that this would be okay, but this rocket window here is leaking water. So this water is 4886. You can see that a little tiny bit just popped out of the room because of this rocket window here. I think this room has to be a luxury barracks, has to be 12, minimum size of 12 tiles. Right now it's only 11 because of that. So I think what we would need to do, trying to think of a way I can get that off. I could probably do it without having these metal tiles in the room. Let me take this one out. The problem is I think I'm going to have to shift this room over one. And there's a couple things I can do to make that happen, but I need to get in, more tiles in this room. Right now it's 12. If I move this wall over, then it's going to be even smaller. But I think I can rotate this down and put this tile up above it I'll have a tile here, tile here, tile here, and that'll be under there. This is in its own little room because this room, and this room would all be invalidated if this gas pump were in it. But so if I move this down, I may be able to fit this all in. It's just a matter of balancing everything so that I can get it all in with the filter still in place so that I can use these powerless filters. They don't count as industrial machinery, as you can see. I think I can manage to squeeze it all in. If I move this room down one, I can put 2 more airflow tiles. I can have the liquid storage here, and then this would be over 1. So this tile would have to move to here, this one would have to move to here. That means this one would move over. This one would go down, so there'd still be room for the mess table. And then the duplicate would come through here, get up onto here, and walk through. Be able to jump through there. I think that would be okay. It would mean that this would not be a door. I would probably put a tile here, start the doors up 1 higher, and it would probably be okay. I may even be able to get that power into a slightly different spot so that we can make this room work a little bit better so I can get that lead tile in. But it's going to take some more finagling to do it. The goal is to make it so that this rocket will be able to store infinite water. That infinite water will keep the dehydrator running, keep the bathroom running, and provide us with all the oxygen we need while we're in space. And so we can just keep charging this up with water and completely fill it all we want, and then have oxygen for days and not have to worry about oxygen storage. If we can make that work, that means we can get rid of this oxygen tank on the rocket, because this I installed because I was going to have it so this oxygen feeds into here, and then we're limited that this rocket can only be in space as long as we have this oxygen running out. But if I can make it so it has infinite oxygen inside of it, then the rocket can be in space as long as I want it to be, as long as it has fuel to be. So I'm going to keep working on playing with that to make that work, because I really like that little tiny design for a little mini SPOM system. The little gas trick and infinite water trick and infinite gas trick. I was even thinking it would be kind of interesting to find a way to tap into that infinite hydrogen storage and pump it out and use it for power. There's just not enough space. But if we ever did do the trick that I'm sure some people have seen online already of melting down the walls so that we can create ourselves a little bit of a cheat and use this entire space to build, we could definitely do that, but I don't really want to do that in this playthrough. It's a little too cheaty for me. It'd be fun in a playthrough where we're going with without breaking any rules, or with breaking all the rules. This one, using the infinite gas and infinite water, is a little much for me to begin with. I definitely don't want to be melting down the diamond windows and building out inside the outside the room and making ourselves a little TARDIS that's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. It might be fun later on, but not right now. So yeah, I'm going to redesign this and fix those few issues and get this set up. But once we have that gone, I'm pretty sure this rocket will sustain a duplicate in space for a very long time.